Hey, this is Ali with Geek Inked magazine, and we're here at Ottawa Pop Expo 2014 talking with Noelle Hannibal. Hi.
Hi.
You've appeared in both the Star Trek movie and the TV show. Do you prefer working in movies or TV?
I prefer working. I mean, it's pretty similar, I guess. And you have long days and you're working, and I actually worked on another series that was not a sci-fi series called Cracker, and we had, I think, 13 episodes. I really enjoyed that because you're going to work every day with the same people. Because when you're working on a movie and you're doing like 1 or 2 days, you're always meeting new people, and it's kind of awkward and hard at first. It's like starting school for the first time every time you get a job. But when you work on a series and you're working like consecutively 3 or 4 months in a row every day, 16-hour days, you become like a family. So I think I'll say I like being in a series. So, hey, directors.
Did you find there was a different dynamic in working with the Voyager cast as opposed to the TNG cast?
I actually didn't work with many of them. In Voyager, I only worked with Garrett Wang, who played Harry Kim. The scenes that I was in were just with him. And with the Next Generation cast, it was actually James Cromwell and Alfre Woodard, and not actually anybody from the cast that was in the scenes that I was in. Michael Dorn came to set to say hi, and Jonathan Frakes was the director. So I didn't really have the opportunity to work with them, and which was disappointing because I was a fan of the show.
How about in Enterprise? Do you get to work much with the cast there?
That was actually, they took footage from First Contact, so I never actually worked on Enterprise. They just, when you do a film like that, you sign your life away to Paramount Pictures or whoever's, the company behind the film. And I only found out that I have trading cards when people come up to me at cons and say, "Will you sign this?" I'm like, I have my own trading card. But I didn't know. I'm in books. My costume was hanging in Las Vegas at the Star Trek Experience.
I went there the last weekend.
Oh, really? They have like this glass case. My sister took a picture of it. It says like, "As worn by Noelle Hannibal in Star Trek First Contact." I'm like, I'd like to have that. They auction off. My teeth from Buffy were auctioned off online. I didn't know about it until kind of after the fact. For 300 pounds, my teeth sold for. My fangs. Yeah.
Speaking of Buffy, have you ever worked musically with James Marsters?
I wish. No, I actually did a concert at Montreal Comic Con. I think it was 3 years ago, and the first time that he came to Montreal. And I asked him if he would get up and sing with me because we were doing like a mashup of songs from Once More with Feeling, the Buffy musical episode. And unfortunately, he was leaving at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to go home, and my concert was at 5. So it will happen one day. It will happen one day.
I look forward to that. You have a new CD out, Somewhere in Between. Can you give our audience an idea of what to expect musically?
Well, that was my debut CD from a few years ago, and it's original music. I am a songwriter, and it's I call it the rocky side of folk because it's not folk rock. It's not too folky. I have a rocker side to me, so it's a little more has a little more oomph to it, and it was really great working on that CD because it kind of just happened. I was working with my bass player, who's a producer, and he's like, "Let's just start recording." And the album just like over a period of about a month, I would sit in the studio and I'm like, "Hang on, I have an idea," and I would write a song and then we would record it. So
probably the best way to go about it, very, very organically. What inspired you musically?
Everything. Gosh, my family is very they're big music lovers. My father was a singer and an actor. In the 70s, he did a lounge act in Vegas, and he's American. He was American. He's passed away, but he met my mother in Montreal when he was here working, and my sister Kim introduced me to the musical Godspell when I was about 8 years old, and it's become like a family tradition to watch it every Easter Sunday. So we're like the only Jewish family that watches Godspell on Easter Sunday every year. But I also love like classic rock. Queen, Freddie Mercury, when I was growing up. I still say if I have an ounce of his showmanship, I'm doing okay. So
Do you have any recent projects you want to tell us about?
I just did a show in Montreal, which was the music of Stephen Schwartz, one of my favorite Broadway composers. He composed Wicked and Godspell and Pippin. And we did it last week in Montreal, and we feel like we're not quite done with that show yet, so we want to take it on the road. So we're actually working on bringing it to Ottawa. So like my fan page on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and you will find out about it whenever we redo that show. And a lot of people have also told me that they want to see me doing some of my original music in concert again, so I'll probably set something up soon for that as well.
That'll be definitely something to look forward to. Do you have anything else you're involved in?
I'm involved in this great organization called T3 Triple Threat Youth Mentors, where we offer pay what you can classes for singing, dancing, and acting. It's based out of San Diego. We have a small chapter in Montreal. We're hoping to grow it. And it's the guy who founded the organization, Maury Williams, is so inspirational, and this is a person that has so much energy and so much love that you can't help but smile when you're around him, and it's a complete and total joy to work with him and to also give back, because I was a disadvantaged kid, so my mom couldn't afford for me to take singing lessons when I was a kid, and so I joined. Again, the funny thing about the religion thing, I was the only Jewish kid in the church choir. But my best friend was in the church choir, and her mom asked the choir director if I could join, and she said, we're open to everybody. So I sang in the church choir for like 6 years when I was growing up, which was my education.
We have something kind of in common there.
Oh, yeah? You sang in the church choir?
My mother did, so
Okay.
I tagged along.
Okay. It was great, and every year they did a musical in the spring, and the great thing about that is that I had this talent for musical theater, so I got the leads a lot. It was great.
That really is awesome. Noelle Hannibal, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
So stay tuned for more coverage of Ottawa Pop Expo 2014 with Geek Inked magazine.